Hey everybody, this is Jen. Welcome to the homestead and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be answering an important question that's being asked this time of year about getting seedlings ready for this season's garden. So I'm going to tell you that and more right here on Garden Jen's Journey. Alright, so you might notice I seem a little more tired and worn out and out of breath, and that's because I'm dealing with some very strange health struggles right now. Strange in the doctors are stumped as to why I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. Because all my signs and symptoms kind of pointed towards either having a really bad UTI to even something as serious as possible cancer in the lower extremities of my body. And so I've been through quite a few tests within the last few days trying to figure out what is wrong with me so we can get the treatment figured out. But so far nothing's come up. I am stumping doctors. That's one thing I seem to be good at right now, is stumping the medical community as far as what is going on. Why am I so sick? Why am I in so much pain? Because the tests and all the blood work and stuff show nothing. So I'm going to be seeing another specialist in about a month or so. Try to get their opinion, figure this out, and go from there. But in the meantime, we got to do what we got to do, right? We still have a garden to prepare for and other things. So I am in my greenhouse currently getting some fresh air and what little vitamin D there is right now, because it's quite overcast here in Michigan. But just trying to get some fresh air and stuff, because I haven't been out of the house much in the past 2 weeks, except to go to doctor's appointments and stuff, because I've just been so sick. And barely able to stand up much, let alone, come out here and be in my greenhouse and work with my pot of lettuce that I still have growing. I still have kale and stuff that I had transplanted from last fall that's in here. But I'm also looking at things, trying to get an idea of what I have and don't have for winter sowing. And y'all have been asking questions about, hey, when do I winter sow? So I'm going to answer that for you today. So winter sowing, in a nutshell, if you're just joining, is when you put seeds in milk jugs, water jugs, juice jugs, soda bottles, those kinds of containers, and you set them outside in the winter. And just like nature does when it drops seeds in the fall, in the springtime, when the weather start perking up, the seeds in the jugs will start to grow, and thereby you get seedlings for your garden. And it all depends on what seeds as to when they'll start growing. Your cold crops, like your broccoli and lettuce and cabbage and cauliflower, some herbs that like it cold, they'll start germinating first, and because they like the cold. But your warmer stuff, your more tropical temperate plants like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, lots of your other herbs that like it warm, don't start germinating till later. So that's in a nutshell what winter sowing is. I do have a humongous playlist with lots of tutorials, reveals, and yada yada. I'll make sure to post a link above and in the description box below. But anyway, when do you winter sow? I thought I covered this before, but if not, here's the information. In a nutshell, the best time to winter sow is approximately 2 months before your last frost date, depending on what region of the country, the world, because this can be done worldwide, you live in. So for me, I am in zone 5B here in central Michigan. I generally start putting my jugs out in late February, March or so, and it also depends on the weather. Now, it used to be, back in the day, seems like eons ago, when we had winter here, we had winter. It stayed cold all winter long, all through the months long. So beforehand, I could put my jugs out as early as Christmas, and they'd sit out there and be happy, and I wouldn't have to worry about them because it stayed cold all the time. Unfortunately, the climate has changed, and winter doesn't stay winter anymore for us here in the northern areas. So it might be 20 degrees one week, and then 40 to 50s the next week. It's happened here in the last month more times than not. So it's not really safe for me to put jugs out right now, because with it being in the 40s and 50s for about a week long, my cold crops might germinate because they like that kind of weather. But then when the temperatures go back to normal, which is below freezing, those seedlings would die. So it's way too soon to put them out right now with the weather fluctuations. So I'm going to start putting them out end of February, early March, depending on the continuation of this weather cycle. So that's what I do in my area. But like I said, in a nutshell, depending on where you are, you want to put them out about 2 months before your last frost date. That way it gives your cold stuff, especially the seeds that need to be cold stratified, that window of opportunity to do what they have to do in order to germinate when it's time to germinate. I wouldn't go too much sooner unless you live in a warmer area that doesn't freeze, because you're going to risk losing those seedlings if you have a freak warm spell like I just mentioned we are having. So that's when I put my jugs out. And also, I keep putting jugs out into even late May or June, depending on my crops, depending on my last frost date. For instance, beans and corn and stuff, I winter sow just because I deal with snails and slugs and things like that, that if I put them in the ground, they get eaten right down and destroyed. But if I start them in the jugs, they can grow, and I can transplant more mature seedlings into the ground, and then the snails and slugs can't kill them quite as easy. So yeah, I'm putting stuff in jugs all the way into June, and then around mid-July, I start putting stuff in the jugs for fall. And I do have a video on winter sowing for fall transplanting, even though it's technically not winter. So I will make sure I link that above and down below as well. So there's your answers as far as when to winter sow. If you have any other questions about winter sowing that have not been answered in any of my other tutorials, please make sure you leave them down below, and I will try to get them answered as soon as possible. Again, trying to get videos out to you as much as I can. With my health being what it is, it's taking a little bit longer than I wanted to. So, it is what it is on this journey, and that's why we're here, to learn from each other. So thank you for being with me today. If this video was helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends if they have questions about winter sowing. Love to have people learn about this technique. That saves a lot of indoor house space, and you get a lot better product doing the winter sowing seed starting method. At least that's my opinion. All right, everybody, take care. I hope wherever you are, you're wonderfully blessed. So until next time, bye-bye.